Today's episode is brought to you by Real Estate Radio Experts. You guys want to get listing leads? I know you do. I know you want to grow your business and do it the easy way. It's radio. Seriously, guys. We are, amazingly enough, we are creating demand across the nation. Don't try to do it yourself. Buying radio, buying this kind of media is not for amateurs. And you know what? It basically doesn't cost you anything to work with somebody like us. We get paid by the radio station. They treat us like a buyer's agent. So go check it out. Go to Real Estate Radio Experts and fill out the Getting Started sheet. Let's see if you're a fit. Okay, today's show. Now I got to tell you, man, this is one you're going to either, one of two things is going to happen. You are either going to, just 20 minutes in, just stop this recording, or you're going to go back and listen to this thing like 3 times. Today's guest, he was a software guy. I mean, this guy was a software guy. That he grew up saying, I want to build software. And, right out of college, he did. That's what he did. And you'll find that, man, this guy's a pretty smart guy. Now we get into, I wanted to know, I was curious, how do you, as a technologist, how are you using technology in your real estate business? From everything from just making, searches easier, to SEO, organic search, everything else. So, I'm fortunate in the sense that I'm probably, when it comes to this kind of tech, I'm probably more advanced than most people, but when you listen to this episode, I kept having to go back and go, hold on a second, help me understand this. So this might be just, we might have gotten a little bit too technical in this. But again, for those people who really want to double down on tech, I think they're going to go, holy smokes, there's stuff I can implement here. So I would encourage you just to grind it out, guys. Grind it out. Listen to this one, because there's going to be a nugget or two that you're going to take away from this and go, oh, that's how I can use that. But again, this is a lot of stuff. We talk about SEO and long tail, keywords, organic search, and all that stuff. So. And he's got an interesting story. All right. Have you guys, we just launched, real quick before we get to the content, a couple things. First of all, have you guys, this is the year, 2016 is the year, that we're going to be launching some stuff for you guys. We have never, ever, ever, had anything, for you guys in terms of products. We just launched our School of Profits. It's not it's just schoolofprofits.com product. Listen, man, we just launched it. It's going great. Everybody's having great results. Everybody's really, really engaged. So go check it out. Look, it's 2016. It's a new year. It's a new you. I want 2016 to be the best year that you've ever had. Welcome to Super Agents Live. This is the one place where you can come and hear the most successful people in real estate. You'll hear how these super agents built their businesses, how they stay productive, and how they stay motivated. Who am I? My name's Toby Salgado, and I made my first million in real estate. And I'm your host for the next 30 minutes while we talk to yet another amazing real estate entrepreneur. Stay tuned.
Let's go! Yeah!
Hey, I want to run something by you guys here. Now, as you probably know, podcasting is exploding. I mean, we started like 2013, but now it's 2016, and everybody's got a show. From Alec Baldwin to everybody's got a show. It is the new way to really get your message out into the world. That being said, there are only a handful of realtors that have shows. I know them all. And I've been encouraging people to start a hyper-local podcast. You can talk about real estate in your market. You could talk about your listings. You could bring the mayor of your city on, the chief of police. And I think, if you did a hyper-local podcast, here's the thing, are people going to find it? Yeah. Is it going to be explode out of the gate? No. But one thing that you will give you is I can get anybody on the show. I mean, I've had the head of the FBI's hostage negotiation unit. When you have a platform like this and you can get some traction, people want to come and share. So how many people in your market, whether big time investors, big time CEOs in your market, again, chief of police, the mayor, you could probably get all those people on your show, but you don't have a podcast. So here's the idea that I just had. What if we did that for you? Meaning this, I was thinking, you could do this. We could do this with you guys having zero equipment. All you do is you call in, just like my guests do, at a specific time that we set up. We call your guest just like we do here. Either one, if you want to do your own episode, that's fine. We call you, you record it, we produce it, we pop it out into your feed, right? Again, we will, in this idea that I have, we set you up on iTunes, completely done for you. All you do is show up and talk, and book a guest if it makes sense. So anyhow, I don't know, man, that could be interesting. Let me know what you think. Hey, real quick, a couple weeks from now, Keller Williams Family Reunion, New Orleans, February 13 to 16. I'm going to be there. If you're going to be there, let's get together, man. I'm getting all my guests from KW in a room. So if you're there and you want to meet some of the folks that have been on the show, give me a call. Let's meet up. All right, let's get to it. His guest has a team of 4. It's 2 buyer's agents, 1 admin, and then this person, our guest, does most of the listings. Last year, 2014, they did 130 transactions for $18 million. He's in Spokane, Washington. I'm thrilled to welcome Brandon Marchand. Brandon, thanks for taking the time out, man.
Thank you.
Okay, so you are in Spokane, Washington. You also work in Idaho because it's about 10 minutes apart. But before we get to what you're doing to get to your 130 deals, and I know you want to do, I think, 200 next year, take a minute. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a lifetime resident of the Spokane area. I went to local schools, went to a local college. Started out building software while I was in college. Put myself through college that way. Was my dream ever since I was a little kid. I would tell everyone I wanted to be a computer programmer. I actually achieved that goal and then hated it. So I was making some pretty good money. Started investing in real estate. My now wife and I then were fixing up a couple of houses, and we sold them. And I thought, hey, I really like this. And so I walked away from my business. I sold it to a partner and decided to start a new business in real estate.
That's amazing. What kind of software did you make?
We made custom software. So we were basically I got the idea about real estate in addition just to the rehabbing the houses and working on that. We did a lot of real estate clients. Down in luxury markets, and they had all this money to build these great products. It was before there was a lot of mainstream IDX products, where a lot of agents would actually have to build their own systems, and people with a lot of money had to make significant investments into their infrastructure, whereas we don't have to do that so much anymore. But we would build great big IDX systems and SEO platforms for really big agents around the country. And I said, this looks like a really great career. They've got lots of money to invest in their business, and so I got to know kind of the technology side of the real estate early on, and that's kind of where I started making the leap.
That's interesting. I want to get into that the technical side of how you're executing real estate a little bit later. But okay, so now you did that through college. Did you? How long after college did you make the move to real estate?
Only a couple years. I mean, I've been in real estate for about 8 years now. I only have started building a team for about the last 4. And we can talk about that. I hired a coach and did all that great stuff to do that. But yeah, it was only about 2 years after I got out of college that I made the leap.
Okay. So you start off with saying, hey, you're a lifetime resident of Spokane. You went to local high school. You went to local college. Now, when you said that, when you said that, I was thinking, okay, this guy has deep ties to the community. You know, he's going to have a giant list. And then you said, well, I was a kid building software in the back room, and then I started thinking, well, maybe this guy didn't have a list. Did you when you started in real estate? Did you have a big list to just jump off and start kicking right away, or did you have to build that?
Aside from the community, and I went to a really small school here. I mean, 69 people in my graduating class.
Oh, wow.
So virtually we know everyone's name. So when I started making an appearance in the marketplace under my branding and marketing, I had a lot of people who knew my values and knew who I was, and so I started getting that indirect. I didn't necessarily have a list, but I started having a lot of indirect effects from my marketing, and I started getting a lot of referrals from my community. That way. So.
Got it. Okay. And why did it take you so long? Why did it take you so long to start building a team?
I was actually adverse to it. I thought, I can do this myself. I can, I'd rather have a small team or not small team, but a small business and just do it all myself. And I was just kind of being stubborn and basically trading a whole bunch of my free time, which is the reason I hated software. So I kind of dug myself into the same hole again.
Yeah.
And so I got really frustrated, and then made a move to Keller Williams, and then started following some of those models as far as developing a team and building that out, and ultimately hired. You had mentioned you'd had Corcoran on. I'd hired Corcoran as a coach, and they helped me make the big leap from thinking I could do it all myself to thinking why not let everyone else do it and focus on really what really makes me money.
Right. And by the way, it's a total side note. So, I have a coach, and Bob himself, I'm one of his personal coaching clients.
Oh, great! Yeah. We're not with Corcoran anymore, but they're excellent. They helped me bridge a gap that I couldn't do myself in a million years, and it was I just needed that really big kick, and I really like it. So. And
by the way, this is for the audience, for everybody in the audience. Look, Bob's a personal friend of mine. He loves what we're doing, and what he'll do for my clients is he'll give you guys a free session. So, look, you can email me and I can intro you to them, or you can just email Bubba at Corcoran Coaching, and Bubba will handle that for you. Sorry, man, that was like a little commercial for Bob, but
that's cool.
So how you were building this software, this IDX stuff before it was sort of mainstream, doing SEO stuff when SEO actually worked for your real estate clients. How have you built your business and integrated technology? I'm sure you've done it in a unique way, but I want to kind of dive into what you're doing in terms of technology wise that is different from most people out there.
A lot of it is in our back office. I built a lot of tools that have helped streamline some marketing. Back when we had a lot of when Craigslist was a big thing and some of these other tools, I had built software tools to help build our ads a lot better and a lot more efficiently and a lot faster, based it on a templated system. And that was something we had as a proprietary system for us. And it was great because we could generate different ads and hand publish them with no tools and all that good stuff. Hand publish them a lot faster than a lot of people who were using these auto posters and all that stuff, which wasn't really a great thing. We didn't want to break the rules. We just wanted to be able to build ads differently for when we posted our properties as required every 48 hours or so. So, and that was a great thing we did in our marketing. We had a lot of integrated systems. I spent some time building software and integrating two different systems. I personally believe in letting people do what they're best at. So I do a little bit of the web integration myself with my experience, but I like to hire IDX Broker, for instance, is one of our big platforms we use, and then I work on building different platforms as far as using our SEO experience to guide contractors in the way of it fulfilling what my vision is.
Okay. So let's talk about again. Like I want to dig into some of the stuff because you are one of the real estate agents are terrible with technology. Real estate agents are terrible with social media, right? So you're one of the rare few that can do this well. So I'm going to spend probably more time than you want on talking about some of this stuff. So in terms of SEO, right? Google's coming up with updates all the time, Penguin, whatever, and SEO is in a lot of ways it's a little bit dead. But give me your take on it. Maybe I'm not as up on it as I should be.
Oh, no worries. I can get as specific as you like to. Sometimes people kind of gloss over when I start talking about it. So if I get there, just stop me and have me explain it differently.
Sure.
I heard a great analogy, and I apologize, I don't remember where I heard it from, but, and it is when people are searching for something, the farther they get along in the process, they get more specific about it. So when you're buying a car or a truck, you might start searching for what are the best SUVs out there, and you start narrowing your search down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so a buyer might do that. They might start searching for homes in North Spokane, for that instance. But that's a really broad search. They're pretty far away from their buying activity. As they learn more and educate themselves about the market and the product, they get more specific about what they want. So let's say they're looking for SUVs. Now they're looking for a Honda or a Toyota SUV, that has four-wheel drive. And they're starting to get more and more specific. As they get more and more specific, they're getting closer and closer to that buying decision. So what our goal is to build long-tail keywords that get people when they're closer to their buyer decision than when they're farther from it. So, for instance, homes in North Spokane is great, but that person's really early in their process. So, but someone who's looking for homes in North Spokane and Shiloh Hills,
mm-hmm.
Or homes in Shiloh Hills under 200,000,
mm-hmm.
they're pretty specific about what they want. So, or they're looking for Spokane County waterfront homes on Deer Lake or wherever we're looking at. So, we focus our efforts on long tail. So, and long tail is longer phrases of keywords where people are more specific because I believe that they're closer to that decision at that point.
Okay. Now that's great. That's awesome. So yeah, a long tail. And I think a lot of people will, when they hear long tail, they're like, okay. So long tail, longer searches, larger search strings. How, okay. So people can go, oh, that makes sense. I'm going to use that. Well, how does somebody use that? So I'm in San Diego. I live in Mount Helix. So somebody's going to search Mount Helix home, 3,500 square foot Mount Helix homes, or Mount Helix homes under $1 million. Like, how would I know as an agent, I know that I need to do this tactically. How do I do it? How do I use this information?
So you need some sort of a tool. And it's not a commercial for IDX Broker or anything, but that's what we use. So IDX Broker lets me draw a polygon, and all the houses for sale in that polygon show up. So there's just a quick tool. I go polygon search, so I'll find the Mount Helix neighborhood. I'll look on the map, and I'll switch it to satellite view so I can see all the edges of that neighborhood. It's pretty easy to tell. And so I'll draw a polygon around that neighborhood, and I'll save it as a page called Mount Helix, and Mount Helix homes for sale. And then I go there and I build a heading. I develop some content about Mount Helix homes for sale. And, sometimes I'll send out a person with a cell phone or a camera, and we'll have them take a picture of the neighborhood sign and maybe the park and a few things. We'll throw that on there, and that's something we're actively working on because we just built out all the neighborhoods. Now we're embellishing them with pictures and content. So you go out there and build your Mount Helix little neighborhood page, and then we start building a page that has links. So we're like, okay, like for instance, we have Mount Helix and maybe 5 or 6 other developments in that neighborhood that might be considered south of town and groups that might be north of town. And so eventually our goal is to have every neighborhood and every type of park and every type of body of water and every type of, attraction, so to speak, accounted for in the form of a real estate search. So when people start searching for real estate near or real estate on a lake or whatnot, our properties start coming up.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. I'm a real estate agent, And and by the way, I'm looking at your website. It's SpokaneHomeGuy.com. Now on this, you have a blog. So I developed this Mount Helix content, and I'm fundamentally creating am I creating a blog and putting all those long tail keywords in that written content, or I thought I heard you just say, Brandon, that I'm going to go buy a domain name that says Mount Helix Homes, and I'm going to create a page with this content. Help us understand what.
Okay, I'm creating a sub page in my website called Mount Helix Homes. So, like, if you're on our main page, SpokaneHomeGuy.com, in the top right, there's like neighborhood drop down. We've got a whole bunch of neighborhoods in there, and we're currently working on embellishing those out to have pictures and content on the neighborhood and all that stuff. And so, what we did is to be purposeful. We started out with higher price point neighborhoods, and we'll trickle our way down to lower price point neighborhoods. Because if we figured we were going to start generating, targeted leads, we wanted to start being purposeful about a price point. And so, and we're starting to see, and we've done blogs. We've posted. We do a lot of targeted Facebook marketing, and we'll highlight a neighborhood once we get something ready. We'll check out all the homes in the Freeman School District or the Meade School District, or check out all the homes in Falcon Ridge, or and we'll target them to people in that zip code. And so we're starting to generate not only that traffic, but then we're also starting to get organic searches as well.
Okay, so you threw me with that last bit because the way with you're putting all this content up, and I enter one of those search keywords, and that would all be organic. I don't.
Yes.
So okay,
there's two things we do. So one of the ways we get it out to the universe is we'll put it on our main Facebook, our company Facebook page, which in a lot of times will either get shared or get organic reach on there as far as through social networks.
Yep.
And then so that will in turn provide a quick, in many cases, a quick spider back to Google finding it back to our page. We also post it out to a couple other websites. A few years ago it used to be directories and press releases and stuff like that. Nowadays it's more trying to get it, put on the blog or cross-link somewhere else on one of our other websites.
Yeah.
To start getting it indexed, and then go from there. But where I kind of jumped there, and I apologize, is we do a boosted ad for a lot of neighborhoods on our Facebook page.
Okay. And
then we'll boost it in that zip code.
And to be clear, or you'll boost it in that zip code. So there's a difference between a Facebook ad and let's say you had a specific property and boosting a post. Because when you boost a post, the way I understand it, Brandon, is you're boosting it to your network. Whereas when you do an ad, then you're picking parameters. You can say, hey, I want to reach people in 92020.
Yeah, and so. You can actually build audiences now in the ad builder on Facebook. You can go down and so when you boost a post, you can actually select one of your preset audiences.
Got it.
So we've built a whole bunch of preset audiences based on the different locations and lifestyles that happen in Spokane County. And so we have from anywhere from outdoors to people who might like the outdoors, to people who might work in healthcare, to people who might work at the Air Force Base nearby. So. We're able to boost a specific listing or neighborhood based on what we feel is important or people that might be attracted to it.
Okay, right. And you can build a custom audience. You can build a look-like. Dude, seriously, Brandon, it seems like you could build a crazy consulting business. Nobody, it's, again, 99% of real estate agents just don't know how to do this stuff. It seems like you can make more money, maybe easier, building a company doing this for agents rather than selling houses.
Yeah, I do teach some classes, here locally, and we help other agents do web marketing and stuff like that. But, I've been down that road, and not that I won't do it again in the future, but, I really enjoy my real estate business. And
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So and again, I want to know how you're doing. With your small team, with one admin, you're doing 130 deals. That's awesome. I mean, you guys, the once somebody can pass that 100 transaction mark, they have all the systems in place to do 300, 400, 500. In terms of tech, and we can talk about systems and processes, but what is? I mean, I think focusing on long tail keywords. You gave us a little roadmap to know how to use those. I think and everybody should play with that. What's maybe one or two other things that you think that are pretty valuable for agents to know how to do, but they typically just don't know what it is or how to do it? Crazy question.
It's a really great question, because I think where most people fail with technology is they try and get too complicated with it, or they're constantly chasing something new. And sometimes it's a matter of you might be using one little piece of a tool you have and not the rest of it. And so, for a lot of people, for us, consolidating our technology and limiting our technology, even though we're technology based, stripping it down to what we need and what we can use perfectly, I think is the best way to do it. Because you can have 50 million tools that you use 10% of, and you don't use them effectively or efficiently, and you're paying $150 or $1,000 or $99 a month for each little thing, when you could just as easily benefit and use all the tools in one suite that might cover a lot of things you're duplicating. And I think that's where a lot of people get carried away with technology. We are focusing on getting completely cloud-based. We're using Google, and we're using a Google Unlimited account, so we have unlimited storage and drive. We're moving all of our documents there, all of our photos, all that stuff, so that we have a remote workspace. Like, my building could burn down tomorrow. I go buy a computer, and I'm up and running again. So that's where we're focusing on, being mobile and accessible from anywhere. So. Got
it. Yeah. And look, and the other thing too is, by using Google in that way, I mean, you don't have to do any backup, right? No Carbonite. It's always there all the time.
Correct.
In terms of being cloud based and completely mobile, how old are you? You're a millennial, right? I'm assuming you're in your early 30s.
Yeah, I'm 33.
33. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking 31, 33. Okay, so if somebody wanted to be the paperless agent, and by the way, part of our platform here is, I want to help people do this. And more than just interviewing somebody like you on the show, I want to actually create some courses to help people, go step by step. In terms of becoming paperless and going, being completely cloud based and virtual mobile, what are some of the other? Okay, you're going to use Google Docs. What are some of the other things you're going to use to do that?
I've got a really nice scanner, because one of my big pet peeves, and everyone's gotten these from an agent, is using some $5 scanner as you get a 200 megabyte contract, And so we got a really nice scanner set up. We have the advanced Adobe suites where so my assistant, our admin, doesn't have to print off stuff to edit files. When we want to check off our checkboxes, we have writable PDFs for everything, and then she can merge them all in Adobe. We actually use a cheaper tool called QPDF, and it's like a $50 tool, whereas it's like $400 to buy Adobe Acrobat sometimes. So we just buy a QPDF for $50, and we can merge our PDFs. We can write on them. She checks all the boxes on our contract form, so we don't have. Once we we email her a contract. There's no printing. She can merge them all into one PDF. She can send it over to the closer with an information sheet via either eFax or email, and use eFax as a great tool. And so we just try really hard to not print anything, even though we have to print a lot of things. Still, we're trying to minimize that. So we are minimizing that.
I'm not. Tell me again. I'm looking at cutepdf.com. I'm looking at it right now. Tell me again how you use it, because if it's a scanner, right? You got to print something somewhere, or I'm confused.
So a lot of times, here's how a transaction might work.
Okay.
We'll sit down with the buyer and seller and go over the contract with them either on a tablet or on our computer, face-to-face on a screen, and we'll have them DocuSign it.
Yep.
At that point, it's DocuSign. We didn't print it. We then send the DocuSign agreement to our admin, and then we might have an earnest money check or a pre-approval letter that a lender faxed us to the office, or some other form we have to paper. We'll scan that in. Cute PDF, we'll take that, merge it all into one file. Take that out. We have pre-made cover sheets that are fillable PDFs that I developed using Cute PDF. We just made fields in there. You can tab through it and fill out the form. Save it as a new PDF, merge it on top of the file. We have a complete file. We never printed anything. Send it off to the closer and the title company, and she opens escrow and does everything she needs to do with it without printing anything.
Got it.
And so that's, I mean, not that printing is expensive, but paper, to manage paper takes time.
Yeah.
And it's, having dual screens and have everything all set up on there, she just has to move paper on the screen, essentially.
I love it, man. 'Cause, when I scan, I hate it, man. I have to print something out, then I drop it on the scanner, right? And the way that I do it here, right? I scan it, it goes onto a flash drive, then I come back with my flash drive, open it, and then I email it as an attachment. There's way too many moving parts. Okay, so Cute PDF. Now is that so? If somebody wanted to go completely cloud based, using Google Docs, Cute PDF. What else do you use to be cloud and mobile virtual?
That's pretty. I mean, it's a lot easier than you think. I mean, we use Google Drive. I mean, we used Dropbox before, but I liked the integration with Gmail and Google Drive where I can actually browse Drive for an attachment and send it to people. So, within minutes of having a listing or all the paperwork, our system has the folders made up in our Drive to where any of the agents, no matter if they're in Hawaii and across the country, if they're on vacation, they can pull up their file immediately from there, which is excellent for us. We can actually take a link then and share all the contract files with the seller or the buyer so that they have access to the folder all the time. And then we actually have our sellers review when we have our professional photographer drops them into his Dropbox, and then we sync it over to our Drive. And, we can share all those photos with our sellers to help. So some of our high-end sellers like to be in the marketing process, and they like to see the photos that keep them excited and all that stuff.
Yep. Interesting. As a 33-year-old, super tech savvy millennial, how are you using video in your business?
We're just starting to use video. I was actually glad to be on the radio here because I have more of a face for radio, I feel. So I wanted to, but the video, I haven't grasped the prospect of me being on video, but we're playing. I know Animoto. I've heard a couple of ads for them on your show, and we really love Animoto. I'm working on integrating that into the business with some lead capture because I haven't been happy with some of our virtual tour softwares on their ability to generate leads. They do really well at presenting the property, but they don't do really well giving me an ROI. So we're working on building something with building some Animoto type advertising with our marketing person and doing that. But video has not been something that I've taken head on just yet. So,
and do again, as a technologist, and I'm sure you are definitely a guy that's looking forward. Do you feel that video is important in integrating some video into your business as we move into 2016, 2017?
Definitely. I feel that I'm behind on that, and it might be limiting beliefs on my part with some of the things that I've done. I feel that the user experience and is going to be very important to buyers moving forward. They have a tremendous amount of information at their fingertips with the big, aggregators of real estate data, and so we need to be able to provide kind of tech-savvy style marketing and internet-driven content. And I definitely believe we need to tell the message in a few ways. We need to tell it, in written word, and we also need to tell it in a multimedia fashion, either with audio or video. So.
Yep. No, I agree. You said something really important there, Brandon, is that, in the, you go back to, in the olden days, right, having just access to the listings, that's where agents had, they had the power. And now, information is omnipresent, and that's and everybody has the same information. I think that's where, if real estate agents are not going to get disintermediated out of the market because of technology, I think it's just being able to distill that information and communicate, in a more fluid fashion. I think those are the people are going to win in the future.
When I first got into the business, I had a quote on my wall that said, "Real estate agents will not be replaced by technology. Real estate agents will be replaced by real estate agents with technology."
Yeah.
And so I think it's a big thing to stay technically relevant. And I think it's important that we stay ahead of, providing a good service and providing content that the consumer will consume. So,
yeah, I agree. So, what other things in your business do you think? How are you different than? I guess being a technologist, how are you winning? I don't exactly, to be honest with you, Brandon. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things that I don't know what I don't know. So I don't know the actual questions to ask you. So, maybe you can kind of lead me in terms of, either where you see the market going, where you see your business going, in terms of technology, what are some of the things you're doing? How are you beating the next guy?
One thing I feel we're doing really well is we're doing a couple different things, and one of our approach this year was to be three-pronged. One of our main goals was to increase our average sale price. We did a lot of short sale business during the downturn, and as the market's improving, we don't have to do as much of that, but we want to focus on realigning our systems to a little bit higher price point. And not that we're not taking lower price points, but when we do marketing, we just try and be purposeful about that. So my goal is, whenever I do any web marketing, I want to think about who my audience is first, and am I targeting an audience who is going to buy a $100,000 property or a $300,000 property? And so I take that seriously. When I was doing a lot of distressed properties, we were looking for investors who wanted to get a deal for our buyers, so we could move some of our really beat up short sales and our bank-owned properties that we were listing. And our marketing kind of started steering that way. And so I wanted to take less of somebody who was looking for that value all the time. And we still service those people, but we wanted to move our marketing to start attracting more equity sales. And so we do a lot of that. Facebook has been a really good lead gen for us. And then also hitting our list. And you'll probably a lot of agents you interview that have, I have a little over 500 past clients in my career, and I wasn't doing anything with them up until about 18 months ago.
Oh, wow!
And I felt really guilty about it. I'd go to these events, and all these people would be like, "It's your database, it's your database," and I'd be like, "Yeah, I hear you, And so we started using technology to hit our database, and so here's a few things that we're starting to do in the next quarter. Is we're going to use the custom list in Facebook, because we have email addresses for all these people, and if they have a Facebook account, we're going to stay in front of them on Facebook using a custom list. And what that allows you to do is you can add all your email addresses to your clients, and you can build an ad that only goes to those people if they have a Facebook account associated with that address. And of those 500, I would imagine 60 or 70% of them do. And
right.
So we're going to build a layered approach. We're hitting them old school with mail. They get little tchotchkes in the mail. They get a little happy grasshopper alert from us, every 3-4 weeks. They're also going to see us in their social media. And then we're working on another layer, so to speak, of a way to just kind of stay situationally aware with them. So we're trying to hit people from kind of all angles, and that's one of the things I think we're going to really grab traction with in the next 3 to 6 months, is really, really harnessing a referral basis. And I understand that since we're just starting in the last 18 months hitting these people again, that it's going to take some time, but we've already seen a tremendous amount of referrals starting to pour in just a year and a half that we've been doing it.
Interesting. Now, and by the way, really quickly, if somebody doesn't know what Happy Grasshopper is, maybe just give a quick. I know what it is, but maybe tell people what it is really quickly.
Sure. Happy Grasshopper is a tool we use. It's relatively inexpensive. You upload your contacts to it, and then they have writers that develop, 7 or 8 different emails that can go out, and it's about every 3 or 4 weeks. And they've got statistics on when the best time of day and when the best time of week and whatnot in their algorithm to know when to send it to get the most open, the least unsubscribes. And so when we first started using it, I started hearing from people that I hadn't heard from in years. And I've been having conversations with some of the first few people that I actually sold houses to in my career. And they're starting, that's 7 or 8 years ago, they're starting to think about selling again. And I may not have had that business had I not started re-engaging these people.
Right. Another tool, I don't know if you, do you know, have you heard of Hello Bond?
I have not, no.
Hello Bond is, so obviously, you have to mine your database. And this is, I'm not telling you this, Brandon, I'm telling kind of everybody, you have to mine your database. And what Hello Bond is, let's say you have a meeting with me. Let's say that I want to thank you for doing this interview. I can either send you an email and say, hey, Brandon, that's great, or I can send you a handwritten note. I don't do that. I don't have the time. My handwriting's not great. And even if I sit down and write the letter, then I have to do an envelope and I have to get a stamp. So Hello Bond, it's about $3. They have this machine and it will use a beautiful Mont Blanc pen, right? Gorgeous, actual ink. You can, on your mobile device or your PC, you can write a letter. Hey, Brandon, great for coming on and sharing. They write the letter, and you can choose different fonts, right? Beautiful cursive fonts. They write the letter in ink. They write the envelope in ink, and mail it for you. Boom. There's different plans. You can do it for $2, $3, whatever. You can do one-offs for like $3. So, and I think a guy like you, being deliberate with your database, right? If you took your database and sorted it, there's lots of ways you can sort your database, but let's say you sorted it with, okay, these are millennials, and these are Gen Xers, and these are boomers. Now, boomers are the ones that are going to appreciate this handwritten letter more than a millennial, right? Those guys don't, check your, you have everything auto pay. You don't even check your mail. I don't. But so, yeah, anyhow, that's, again, both for you and the audience. Beautiful handwritten, inked letters. And again, I don't get paid for that. That's just a tip. Going back to Facebook, so I know how you're going to kind of use that in Facebook. What about software that you're scraping Facebook email addresses?
We haven't really done a lot of that. There was a big fad, and I guess it's still kind of I call it a fad because in real estate, like someone starts doing something successfully, and then everyone starts doing it, and then it gets ruined, and then we have to find something else to do. And so, of the home valuations, using either lead pages or some sort of one of the different pages out there to generate a lead for a seller lead. And we've done some of that, some of those tools out there. I found the biggest success was we were teaming up with a lender and marketing towards some of the new first-time home buyer programs, like some of the new Fannie Freddie 3% down first-time home buyer loan. And we were running some payment scenarios, and we were able to target people who rented with a certain income bracket, who Facebook believes might move. And so we were able to put ads in front of those kinds of people. And we were generating some pretty targeted leads. We got some pre-approvals, and I was able to generate some business for my buyer's agents from it. There was a pretty good ROI, but we're constantly experimenting with that. I wouldn't say that, just like Craigslist, Facebook isn't the end-all be-all, but we're constantly out there looking for different ways that we can demographically target based on, what they want, I guess, and more, not necessarily demographically, but based on their interests and their behaviors is how we want to target people. And I think that's one of the biggest assets of what the era we're coming into in technology is being able to say this group of people, they might move and they make about this much and they rent. And, you can't get any more specific than that, and you might be able to soon, but being able to put something that I make in front of them that might drive them to me is great. And so we're looking at different social media platforms. We're looking at different platforms across the web that might allow us to do that better. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, and look, in terms of like predictive analytics, I mean, the only company that I know of that says they can do it is SmartZip. However,
Yep.
I've had a lot of people on the show talk about SmartZip, and they're like, it's a waste of money. So, I mean, they say they have an algorithm, and I'm sure they have something, but I don't know. It might be vaporware. So you talked about different social platforms. I mean, are you a guy that, I know you're not, you don't have a YouTube channel because you're not using video like you should probably. Are you on Pinterest? Are you on Instagram? Other than Facebook, what social platforms are you using? Maybe that's a good way to ask that.
I would using is probably a bit strong. We're mainly using Facebook right now. We're investigating Instagram for from different marketing, and definitely Pinterest. There, because I guess Pinterest is seeing a lot higher rise in users. I mean, I'm getting a lot more. I'm monitoring a lot more activity on a lot of boards than I used to feel I would see as far as people that might be interested in real estate. We have accounts on all the social networks just so we can protect our brand name, and if we ever need to start using it, we can. We have a YouTube channel where all of our virtual tours go to, and we're working on building some video tutorials. This is one of our plans this winter on like first-time home buyer process and introduction to our agents and some of that stuff. We have a green room that got set up here in our office, and we're going to be utilizing that.
Oh, that's awesome.
In our brokerage office. So.
Yeah. I think I think doing all those video tutorials on how to get the top dollar for your house, how to sell your house in 30 days, as well as what you should know, as a buyer, what you should know, right? What questions, how to hire a contractor. And then, right, so you're doing all that, right? You put it in your blog, you put it on your YouTube channel, obviously, inserting all those long tail keywords. I think that, if you did that deliberately, consistently for the next 12 months, I think that would become a very, very valuable asset for you. A deep, again, a long-term asset.
I agree. And I actually, one of your past interviews, you had a gentleman who was moved from Alaska to Portland. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry.
Cody Gibson.
Cody. Yeah, Cody. And he was, I think he did some stuff on our, for one of our meetings here too in the office. And he, one thing he said is, and I really liked it. I took that away from your interviews, and that was great. Where if he was working on his business, he wasn't working on leadership. And to me, that's a threshold I'm crossing right now. Is where I need to stop working in the business as much and start working on leadership and developing the business. Yeah. And I think that's one of my major roadblocks to maybe making it to a level of someone like Cody Gibson. So.
Yeah, and Cody's more of a trainer. I mean, he's not putting up huge numbers. And I'll tell you something that you're doing. I'm on your website. I'm bouncing around on your website, SpokaneHomeGuy.com. So I looked at a couple properties, and I think I looked at two. And what you surfaced here was, I can't get out of it. I think you have. Oh, I can go back and get out of it. So everybody hates pop-up boxes or light boxes, but they work, and you're using them. Because I looked at two, and then you said, "Hey, you threw me a pop-up box, and listen, you have to register to look at anything more." And I think I just went backwards and got out of it. So I'm gonna put the pop-up or light boxes absolutely work. I'm going to put one on our site to generate more email addresses. How'd you know that? Right? I mean, I know you're a tech guy, but in terms of using, where does somebody like you learn stuff? I guess is really what I'm trying to ask.
I do a lot of reading. I listen to a lot of webinars. Hopefully the ones that aren't trying to just sell you their product. But I listen to a lot of webinars. I get a lot of value out of the Keller Williams events, the mega camps and family reunions, especially talking to people who do things, because there's always really simple, solutions to a lot of these. Before I started doing I guess before I started doing the obligated sign in on the website, I generated maybe, it's embarrassing, maybe 5 leads in a year off the website. I had all this traffic, and in the brokerage I was working at prior was just would tell us that, hey, you don't want to do that, you don't want to chase your people away. I'm like, well, then why am I spending money to give people free access to the MLS, and then someone else is selling them a house?
Yeah.
And so one person that was really big on it what really made me change my mind was I listened to some of Ben Kenny's stuff.
Yep.
He was really big on being purposeful about whether it's 2 houses or 5 houses they look at. And so we played around with those numbers. I think we're letting the system on IDX Broker pick the best, and it monitors how many leads you're getting, and it'll determine how many people get to look at. But we're generating somewhere between 100 and 120 web leads a month right now on that site, just by doing the obligated sign up. And we're not getting a lot of those little Mickey Mouses and go away or I hate you type signups. We're getting, for the most part, a lot of legit signups and making contact with people on that, and it's been great. So.
Okay, good. So sorry, I'm looking at I'm in San Diego. Geez, what I can buy in Spokane is unbelievable.
Yeah,
I can get a lot for $700,000. Yeah, not so here in San Diego. So you went from 5 a year to 150 a month. God, we got to start wrapping up, man. I've had you on for 50 minutes now, but tell me really quickly, what do you do? Like, how are you now mining your database? How are you get my? I just had to. You made me register, so I just registered. I gave you a fake email address though, just to see if it would work.
Okay.
It did. And now what? How do you communicate? Do you have a AWeber and now all of a sudden, like, I'm on Drip campaign, or what do you do with my email address now?
So one of my buyer's agents I just saw the email come in. They manually will address the lead. So they're going to make the first contact attempt themselves, and then they're going to put you into a long-term follow-up system. So if they determine that your email is fake, and you have no phone number, you'll probably end up, going into a trash. But if we have different setups. So if someone has just an email, they go down this path. If they have an email and a legit phone number, they go down this path.
Okay.
And if they have just a phone number, they go down this path. So we have 3 different paths based on the type of lead we might get.
And again, that's all automated. Are you using AWeber to drip that out, or is it a system that you built yourself?
Oh, Top Producer.
Okay, that's right.
Yep.
God, that's 10 million. I thought it was just a million. 497 acres, unbelievable. But that's 10 million. Okay, look. So we're going to start wrapping up. I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask everybody, and here's the first one. You Brandon, you have this really, really interesting background, and we unfortunately didn't get to how how you got your 130 deals and all that stuff. But that's okay. Maybe we can bring you back on for a round 2, because we spent a lot of time, and hopefully the audience got a ton of value from all these little tools and tips. But who has been a mentor to you as in your career, either in your previous technology-based one or your real estate career?
I learned. I think I lean a lot on the experiences from my technology base. I had employees. I didn't balance my time. I guess I lean on those lessons a lot, and I do talk with my old business partner quite a lot on that, and we bounce things off and on. But I have to throw a lot of credit to my wife, who's like the rock that I push off of for all of my. Everything. I would be a lot more stressful, a lot more difficult if I didn't have her. And she's a really strong business mind herself, and so she's been a lot of that help for me too. And so I definitely pretty much rely on a lot of my past experiences and past pains of building another business that I lean on here, and I kind of try and avoid those paths of not balancing time and doing all that. So.
Now, do you have a coach currently?
I don't. We're actually looking. I've been talking with Matt. And we're looking at getting set up with a coach right now, and doing that. We took a little bit of break when we were growing rapidly, and we left Corcoran, and not for any specific reason, but we just did that, and I wanted to kind of get more into the KW model, since I wanted to participate more in discussions with the MRA chart of accounts and being on the ALC and all that stuff. So I wanted to get more into the model.
Okay. Now I always ask for a book recommendation. So here's the setup, Brandon. I'm an aspiring agent. I have $25. What book should I go buy today?
I like The Miracle Morning.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite books I've read in the last 12 months. It made you so you don't have an excuse. It's like, everyone has time to get up early in the morning. They might want to go to bed. They might want to hang out with their family in the evening. But if you get up before everyone else, there's no excuse for not getting those things in your life you want to get them done.
Absolutely, yeah. And Hal Elrod, so everybody, Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod, he's been on the show. You can go and listen to that interview, and I pretty much dig the book out of him. But if you haven't read it, I would agree with Brandon. Go read that one. Get a free copy on us. Just use our link, audibletrial.com/superagentslive, and you'll get a free copy when you sign up for Audible. Look, Brandon, I always encourage my audience, if they've gotten anything out of this episode, to reach out to you and say thank you. So, and look, maybe, I know you're in the middle of getting into leadership and hiring more of a team. Maybe somebody wants to join your team. Where can people find you? I've said your URL, Spokane Guy, SpokaneHomeGuy.com a few times, but maybe do you want to give an email or just direct people to your website?
I'll give an email. It's Brandon, BRANDON, at SpokaneHomeGuy.com. And
by the way, man, this is for the audience. If you want to reach somebody, 95% of the time, if you want to reach somebody and you don't have their email address, it is always founder, in this case Brandon, at domainname.com. So for Brandon, it's Brandon at his domain, SpokaneHomeGuy.com. For me, right, it's actually Toby at SuperAgentsLive.com. So I'll tell you, I got Tom Ferry's, that's how I got him on the show. I got his personal email address by I won't tell his email address, but you guys can probably figure it out. Same thing with, I've had Mike Ferry on the show, did the same thing. Like founder, first name at URL.com. So, hey, Brandon, man, look, I'll be the first guy to kick off that thank you train. Thank you, bud. I appreciate you taking the time out today.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Let's keep in touch.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15%